Hey, this is Brian again, and I'd like to ask you to do a favor. We can't do this work without people like you, so if you can, please like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends about Bring Back the Porch.
Most of them are ceramics major. Some of the university don't have ceramics as a major, like a BFA without like specificity, but they're all interested in ceramics.
This episode of Bring Back the Porch brought to you by Medicine at Monumental, crafting quality memorials of distinction since 1970. Well, we are back here at Medalta again, but in a very different location, and I'm with Tomo Ingalls.
Hi.
What is your position here?
I'm a residency coordinator for International Artist in Residence program.
And this is the building that we're in that all the students do their work in.
Yes.
How do they get into the program, the students?
So Artist in Residence is juried process. They apply April and September, and we have 3 jurors, and we go through with the criteria and the score and ranked and chosen that way. And this month we have a students residency program happening, and that's a collaboration with 7 universities across Canada.
7 across Canada. Mm-hmm. How was the competition? Were there lots of applicants?
Well, that is done within a university. So each university will open the competitions, and students apply, and I trust the faculty to do that part.
Okay. The 7, are they all interested in ceramics and pottery as a career?
Yes, they are. Most of them are ceramics major. Some of the university don't have ceramics as a major, like a BFA without like specificity, but they're all interested in ceramics.
How has it been working with the students these past couple of weeks?
Oh, it's amazing. It's just, they're just a ball of energy and drive. They're go. They come in the morning and they stay till really late at night, and they have learned many different firing methods. It's been great.
I saw your face light up when I asked you about the last couple of weeks. You must have enjoyed it.
Yes, I love their energy, yes.
And what do you do with the students?
I don't do very much. I just organize like until they get here. The technician would lead them to do soda firing. That's something we have specialized equipment. Raku firing, pit firing, blow is another gas kiln that we specially have, and she organizes them, and then they work together.
Is this a unique program in Canada, or are there others like it?
This is a very unique program, yes. Like we are the only one.
So it's quite an honor, I guess, to be selected to come here.
Yes, and a lot of the students, past students, will come back here as an artist in residence on the other side.
Okay, explain that program then.
That side is 1 month to 11-month program. You can choose when they would like to come, and then we go through a jury process.
Okay, now in residence, that seems to imply that they live here.
Yes, we have BMO Artist Lodge. It's across from the old IXL factory. We have 13 rooms to accommodate them.
So I imagine there was a lot of collaboration between the students while they're here.
Yes,
yeah.
They would fire together. We have artist talk that we did 3 times this month. Everyone here will have to give artist talk.
Okay. Are they allowed to experiment?
Definitely. That is most important things. It's in our mandate.
So then they discover things about themselves and about, I guess, ceramics and pottery. Yeah.
Like every firing methods brings out different outcome, and the different methods, like how you approach ceramics will change. So definitely that's what we want to provide.
And when the students leave here, where do they go? Back to their universities, and do they try to find employment, or are they still in their programs?
They're still in the program. That's what we look for, so that they can talk about their experience amongst themselves back in the university. That's one of their responsibility, that they give artist stock back in the university too.
Okay. Now, what happens to the work they've done here, the physical objects?
Well, they bring them home.
They take them with them?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else you wanted to add about your experience so far with these students?
Well, it's an honor to be here. It's a dream job for me. I just sit here and organize in front of the computer, and then the people come, from all over the Canada and outside. Yeah. It's an amazing place.
Well, thank you for spending some time with us.
Thank you.
Our first student is Elizabeth Hughes, and you are from Emily Carr University.
Yes, I am.
Where is that?
It is in Vancouver, British Columbia. It's quite a small university. It is just in art and design school, and yeah.
But it's a very famous name in Canadian art history.
It is. So, especially when studying, and especially in BC, Emily Carr, the artist herself, is brought up a ton. So yeah. It's quite cool to go to a school named after her.
So how did you become involved as a student at Emily Carr University?
So actually, I originally, after high school, I took a gap year, and then during that gap year, I applied to another school in BC, which is Langara College. And in there, you can do a fine arts diploma, which is a 2-year program. I didn't end up finishing it, but within that, I got to try a bunch of art forms that I never got to try, which is actually how I got interested in ceramics. And then I think during my second year at Langara, I applied just to see if I could transfer over to Emily Carr, and they accepted me, so I've been going there ever since.
And how did you find yourself here at Medalta?
Emily Carr has this program partnered with Medalta and the Northwest Ceramics Foundation that sponsors one student from the ceramics department who is in their 3rd year going on to their 4th year, and lets them come here for a month and share their knowledge and show off their Emily Carr skills.
So how has your month been here in Medicine Hat?
Insanely busy. It's been so much. I always felt like a month is a lot of time, but when you're actually going through it, it feels like I've been here for a day. So it's really hectic, but I've made some stuff and I've got to learn a lot. I feel like I've learned an insane amount during this through just experiencing different things and also meeting all the other artists here. They know so much different things and their skills are a lot different than mine are. So I thought that was so cool.
So I guess much like when you're creating a piece of ceramics, your collaboration with the other fellow students and residents here, that recipe has created different things for you.
Absolutely. There's a lot of things I just either haven't had the opportunity to try back where I am, or I've been kind of scared to. And I feel like this place has given me a lot of confidence to be a little more daring and to experiment with a lot of things. And I've made a lot of things, and some of them have broke, some of them haven't.
Yeah.
Some of them have been scrapped, and some of them have survived.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. What are you most proud of?
I feel like I'm actually kind of bad with talking to people and stuff. So I feel like I've really pushed myself to be more social and engage with other artists, because I love hearing about other people's art. I love just seeing their ways of thinking and their different approaches to things. So I feel like I've made a lot of good friends here, and I've got to see everybody's perspective on art, and it's very inspiring. It's just if it wasn't a month, I would still definitely just be making art here till they kick me out. I was considering it, honestly.
Just hide somewhere in the building, and when they turn out the lights, you come back out like a little mouse.
Yeah. That's plan B,
Tell me, when you first sit down with a lump of clay, what does it say to you?
That's a really philosophical question, because I don't know if it's necessarily something that it says to me, but I do feel something, and it's that I want to create something out of it. When you're throwing things, it very much wants to be a certain thing, and it kind of tells you. It's very hard, like, to tell something to be a teacup if it really doesn't want to, and that's like one thing we express a lot in ceramics is that clay has a memory, and it will remember when it was like a lump of clay and stuff like that, and it does want to return to that. So you have to think about that a lot when making it. So what it says to me is it wants to be part of like a medium. It wants to become, well, it is part of a medium. It wants to become something new, and it wants to like metamorphosize as like a butterfly or something. I kind of just like kind of feel it in my bones, what it wants to be. And if it doesn't want to be something, then I'll make it something else.
Yeah. I guess that's the nice thing with a lump of clay. If you don't like it, you just start again.
That is the cool part. If a clay is not fired, you can just reuse it infinitely. And I think that is like one of my favorite things about it, because like it's just like until you fire it, it isn't permanent at all. So you can do whatever you want with it.
What's the biggest memory you're going to take back with you? Was there a moment when you went, oh, like an aha moment?
I think it's when I first got here. I've never been in a studio this big and also this clean. So it was really interesting. But one of my favorite parts is actually like looking at the different pieces all throughout the studio and getting to use things, and also getting to meet other people who have the same enthusiasm as me. Because even back at school, the ceramics department is somewhat small. So it's always nice to meet people who have the same love for ceramics that I do, because there's like this thing called the ceramic bug that ceramicists get, where it's like you kind of just become obsessed with making things. And I definitely have it, and I feel like most ceramicists do. But I really just enjoy doing everything. I don't know if there's necessarily an aha moment, but it was just like joy.
Yeah. Did you get to experience different types of firing? Was there one that you really like?
I actually got to do a bunch of different firings, some that I have yet to do. One of them was a pit firing. I have a small piece here, which was like, I used my friend's silver ink, who is one of the artists here, and she helped lead a pit firing, which is the type of firing where you have a bunch of combustible material in basically what is a pit, and you set it on fire and let the smoke go into the clay, and it gets a really interesting effect. There's also that one right there, that little sort of ladybug piece. I plan on partially painting it when I get home, because I also really enjoy painting with ceramics. So the smoke becomes like trapped within the clay, and it gives a really interesting effect. And I've always wanted to do it, but I haven't got to.
Yeah. And you can't control the smoke, so you don't know what you're going to get until you get it.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically all of ceramics. You have no idea what it's going to look like till it comes out.
Yeah.
I got to do a bunch of soda firing stuff, which is something I've only done once before, so I got to do it 2 more times here. And we had somebody who was very experienced in soda firing, so they helped so much with that, so I'm very thankful for that.
Explain the soda firing.
So it is basically, you get your ceramics extremely hot to what is called cone 10, which is like 1,500 degrees Celsius. I probably am wrong about that.
Kind of like a summer day in Medicine Hat.
Honestly, it feels like it's the same temperature outside right now. I'm glad there's air conditioning here. So you put these various types of glazes, and then when it's super hot, you put these things called soda ash, and like these, like, you can either spray it or then you can put them in these like little burritos. We did the burrito technique, and then you use like this really like ancient looking metal thing to like stick it in while somebody else like opens one of the ports, and there's like fire coming out. It's really intense. You gotta like shove it in there, make sure it doesn't catch on fire. And then when that does, it becomes like almost like a vortex of the ash flying around, and it affects the ceramics in very interesting ways. I have this one here, which is mostly naked clay, but there's glaze in like the crevices and stuff. And you can see how it looks inside. But like, for example, this is also a soda firing.
Yeah. Now, did you throw that?
Yes.
On a wheel?
Yes, these are thrown. Actually, Most of the functional stuff I've made is thrown, which is something I'm not crazy comfortable with. So I'm definitely been forcing myself to make stuff. I made a very big project that's about this big that is currently still being fired, so I will send photos of that when it's out. But it's all a bunch of thrown pieces like stacked on top of each other to create a larger form. And I really want to do something like that because I am quite scared of throwing. I feel like it's quite a frustrating thing to do, and you only see people who can do it so easily, and I'm so jealous of them. So I'm like, that's what I'm going to focus on when I'm here, and I definitely do feel like I've improved.
Yeah. Being in a historic clay district in Medalta that has over 100 years in history, have you walked through the displays? Have you drawn any inspiration from what you've seen?
I really am inspired by like historical items, and like I just love like vintage things. I'm I plan on going antiquing on my way home because I'm driving. But we did a guided tour through Medalta Museum and seeing all the like, there is a collection of ceramics that was donated by a collector, and you can just look at all the various different types of wares and stuff and how much different types of items are used in ceramics, and I thought that was really interesting. And I kind of like always feel like functional ware is kind of like stale to me because like I feel like there's only so much you can do with that, but that really inspired me to like think differently of it and try to explore. So when I originally did a bunch of these ones, they had like paintings and glaze, and then they all like melted away, so there's no detail in it. So I'm planning on using China paints when I get back, and I'm going to do little paintings on them because I'm a little sad they went away.
So what are you going to do when you leave here? You continue your studies?
Yes, I'm going into my 4th year at Emily Carr, so that is my final year ideally, and I think after that I might take a gap year, then continue on to my master's. Depends what life goes on. But yeah, for like the rest of the summer, my plans, I don't really know.
Yeah. Do you see Medalta being a part of your future?
I really hope so. If they will let me. I really enjoyed here. I've met some of the not student residents who are coming here for like, they go from a month to a year, and it just seems so cool to like make these things with a bigger time limit, because I felt like I was like a hamster running on a wheel nonstop while being here, which is definitely an interesting feeling. So I think that if I were to come back here, I'd come with like more solid plans of what I wanted to make. But yeah, I definitely want to come back here. I also really enjoy Medicine Hat.
Well, we're happy to have you here, and thank you for spending some time with us.
Thank you so much. I'm really glad I got to do this interview, and I'm honored to be here. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Elizabeth.